Did you see it? Chapter 0 404 Not Found. Posted 12:03 a.m. by admin staticmirror.net. Hey everyone. I don't usually post stuff like this. This blog was originally set up to archive defunct conspiracy sites and fringe forums, old GeoCities pages, deleted Reddit threads, oddball zines from the 90s. I treat it like a museum of digital ghosts. I don't add commentary, just the raw data, no spin. But this one feels different. I have seen strange things online, but this felt like it was waiting to be found. I don't know how else to describe it. Maybe if I explain. I was digging through some balloon hobbyist sites when I found a broken link to an old WordPress blog called Did You See It? It had been mentioned in passing on a now dead subforum for high altitude footage analysis. Most of the links were toast, but one led to an archived capture in the Wayback Machine. Just one. Timestamp 3:11 a.m. October 13, 2023. That's the only record. No earlier versions. No later snapshots. Even the CSS was corrupt. I had to reformat the raw HTML just to get the text legible. There's no author name, only the generic handle placeholder where a name should be. The email associated with the account was scrambled, but part of the metadata listed an old Proton Mail address, graham.b@, and the rest is truncated. I almost missed it. The site is just there. 10 blog posts, each with a timestamp and a title. No comments on most of them. No page history. But the deeper I read, the more it started to feel like something meant to be found. Not shared, not spread, just stumbled upon. Like it was waiting for someone to open it again. There's one recurring detail I can't shake. A phrase the author uses. It shows up in nearly every post. Sometimes at the end, and sometimes buried in the middle of a sentence. Stay grounded. It's the kind of phrase you'd overlook, but it started bothering me. I ran a string search on archived conspiracy forums, aviation threads, even YouTube comment sections. That exact phrase started showing up more frequently after the blog's supposed deletion, but never linked back here. When I tried saving this page to my drive, the file renamed itself n370yh.txt before I even typed anything. I don't know what that means. I've pasted the full recovered text below, exactly as it appears. No edits, no formatting changes, aside from fixing a few broken line breaks. I'll host it here until someone asks me to take it down, or until it vanishes again. If you're reading this, you probably already know what to expect, but just in case, you might already be looking too closely. Take it from me. Don't open strange attachments. Don't respond to emails from the dead. And whatever you do, if you hear 3 knocks right after reading this, don't open the door. Admin staticmirror.net. Chapter 1 Edgeproof. Posted 2:13 a.m. by handle. I'm not even sure who's still reading this. If you've been here before, yeah, it's that blog. The one where I used to yell at flat earthers and crystal healers and anti-vaxxers from behind a screen like some kind of righteous gremlin. There was a time I thought I was doing something noble, or at least useful. These days, I can barely talk myself into brushing my teeth in the morning. I live alone now. I've been between jobs for a while since work from home gigs are drying up. I mostly just keep to myself, drink too much coffee, order too much pizza delivery, and stay up late watching reruns of my own legacy content and old action movies. Wow, I sound a little pathetic reading that. It isn't all bad, really. I've been a loner most of my life, and to be honest, I would usually be grateful for the silence. But something happened tonight. Something I can't explain. And if I don't write it down, I'm afraid I'll either forget it or convince myself I imagined it. So, let's start with Graham Bellamy. If you were part of the great internet conspiracy war of the late 2010s, you may remember him. He was one of the louder flat earthers back then, charmingly naive, ran a channel called Edge Proof, filmed in the back of his van from a phone duct taped to a thermos. He wasn't the worst of them, honestly. He had charm, could string a sentence together. We debated a few times. I tore him apart on a Reddit AMA, and he actually DM'd me afterward to say, "Good hit." Classier than most of them, I regret ripping into him so hard now. Seemed like a nice guy. Anyway, in August 2020, he tried to prove once and for all the Earth was flat by sending up a high-altitude weather balloon with a GoPro strapped to it. And the punchline? It worked. It completely worked. Clear footage, high atmosphere. You could see the curvature with your own eyes. No lens distortion, no editing. It was the most beautiful rebuked flat Earth I'd ever seen, and it came from one of their own. I was practically foaming at the mouth with "I told you so" pre-typed out in the live chat. I never hit send though. A rare moment of pity on my part. You could actually see him realize it on camera. Graham watched the curve appear, went quiet, and said nothing for about 2 solid minutes. Just stared. It was like watching someone wake up mid-dream and forget who they were. I think he was tearing up. Then the feed cut. His channel disappeared 2 days later. Reddit scrubbed. Twitter gone. Discord group locked behind invites. No public statement. No apology. Nothing. I didn't feel bad for him after that. More like I had scored some kind of victory. Another nutball debunked. A notch in the belt. I wondered if he would ever come back. His balloon experiment footage spread fast, but the admins on Skywatch, the balloon forum he frequented, locked his account almost immediately after he vanished. Account banned was all that remained under Graham's username. No explanation given. I thought that was weird at the time. Like maybe he lashed out and said something he wasn't supposed to, so they shut him down for good. Maybe. After he never did try to make a comeback, I had the thought that maybe he simply accepted reality. If you would have asked me about him yesterday, I would have said I figured he'd gone to live in a yurt somewhere and was making sourdough. I hadn't thought about him in years. Then the email came. Subject: Did you see it? From graham.b@protonmail.com. Sent 1:17 a.m. Not the curve, the sky. Pause at 52:07. I didn't see it then, but I think it saw me. Attachment: balloon clip. 5207.mp4. The email deleted itself while I was reading it. 1 second it was there, the next, gone. Not in the trash, gone. Vanished like it never existed. The video attachment didn't have time to download. I chalked it up to some sort of computer glitch. I didn't know what else to think. Luckily, I had recorded Graham's video myself during his live stream. I was planning to use it to make my own points later. I thought he would either double down, or the experiment would simply fail due to user error. I didn't actually expect him to just stop posting. Since neither happened, and he went radio silent, I left it in my video archives. I hadn't planned on opening it again, unless he tried to make a comeback. So, I got out my old external hard drive and opened my archives. Clicked on the Flatty Uploads folder, and there it was. I watched it twice, the same stream I remember. Balloon rising, passing into the stratosphere, hiss of wind, camera bobbing, grainy, then clean, and then 5207, like the attachment said. A slight hitch in the feed, not a total glitch, a frame stutter, like the camera caught something it wasn't sure how to process. I paused, rewound, watched again. At the top right of the screen, just above the balloon's horizon line, something moves. I thought it was a bird at first, but when I zoomed in, I saw it. A plane. Commercial looking, mid-sized jet, perfectly in frame for just under a second. But it was too close, way too close. Any closer, and that balloon would have been sucked into its wake. And then I saw the tail number. It was fuzzy, but I could still read it. N370YH. My stomach dropped. Cold sweat prickled the back of my neck. I had to Google the number again, hoping, desperately, that I'd misremembered. I hadn't. If you know aviation, or even if you've ever gone down a conspiracy rabbit hole, or watched late-night YouTube in a hotel room, you know that number. It's the tail number for Malaysia Airlines Flight 370. It would have been better had it just stayed grounded. Vanished in 2014. Presumed lost with 239 people on board. Declared unrecoverable. Wreckage disputed. Black box never found. But there it was, flying over Nevada in footage from 3 years ago, a decade after it went missing. No one saw it during the live stream. No one reacted to it. It was just there. And then it was gone. I've checked the FAA logs. Nothing. No transponders in the area. Nothing on flight radar archives. The entire air corridor had a 6-minute data blackout listed due to a scheduled software update. That's convenient. I don't know what this means. Maybe it's a trick. But I saw it with my own eyes. He saw something. Hell, we both did now. But what happened to the email? Chapter 2. Debunker Steps. Posted 10:32 a.m. by Handle. I barely slept. Not because I was afraid, but because I needed to be sure. I didn't want to do that thing we all do, where we stare at something weird, decide it's a compression glitch or dust on the lens, and move on. It wasn't that. Couldn't have been that. And couldn't even have been intentionally altered. It was my footage of a live stream. For a second, I got this harebrained idea that it was a hoax. That he planned this all along. Like he was setting me up in advance. Maybe using AI to edit the footage and then releasing that as a live stream. Graham just wasn't that sophisticated. He was passionate about his belief he wouldn't do that. But it was all I could come up with. Even if it was true, that was years ago now. And he would want to make an example of me back then, right? I felt like I was chasing ghosts in JPEGs. like I was about to end up on some debunker subreddit with my name circled in red. That is when I realized I was just making up excuses. I was acting just like he used to about CGI. Graham didn't even understand basic video editing. I knew it wasn't a hoax. A plane, right next to a weather balloon, at 90,000 feet, in a part of the sky that, according to everything I can find, should have been empty. I started digging deeper. Let me walk you through what I've tried. Step 1. Flight logs. I pulled the timestamp from the footage, August 9th, 2022, 3:08 p.m. PST. Location of launch, Humboldt County, Nevada. Rural, high elevation, clear sky. Then I checked FAA records. There was no scheduled flights in that corridor within 20 miles of that balloon's altitude at that time. The FAA used a public notice citing a temporary transponder blackout in that region due to scheduled tower maintenance, which is strange because balloons don't rely on tower signals, neither do planes at that altitude. The blackout lasted exactly 6 minutes, 3:05 to 3:11 p.m. That window perfectly surrounds the moment in the footage that Graham asked me to look at. Step 2. The tail number. N370YH still checks out. I went through the ICAO aircraft registry, FAA, NTSB, and even old planer spotter logs. Everything points to Malaysia Airlines Flight 370, Boeing 777. Disappeared March 8, 2014, somewhere over the South China Sea. No confirmed debris. No survivors. Satellite pings, yes, but that's as close as they ever got. And yet, there it is, a single frame in Graham's footage. Step 3. The forum. I posted a frame grab to one of the private weather balloon forums I used to lurk on. Didn't say much. I just asked if anyone had ever captured strange aircraft mid-flight, tagged it as a curiosity frame oddity. 2 people replied almost immediately. One said, "Planes fly higher than you think, probably just a military escort." Another asked, "Did you check for camera distortion? Could be an overlay from a reflective layer." Fair points, but then that's nothing. The post is still up, but no one else responded. I messaged a couple of people I knew used to be active. No replies. One of them, at SkyjockeyNV, deleted their account within an hour of my message. I messaged 3 people I used to talk to, all of them offline. One deleted their account an hour later. Not deactivated, deleted. Gone like they never existed. Graham's account was still banned on Skywatch, but according to the logs, he'd been online just 6 hours earlier, watching, waiting. The silence wasn't just loud, it felt intentional, orchestrated, like everyone knew something I didn't, or worse, that someone was making sure I never would. Step 4. Second viewing. I watched the footage again. This time, I noticed something else. Right before the plane appears, the camera tilts just a bit. Not like a usual sway. It jerks, like something pulled the balloon ever so slightly. Almost like turbulence. But that doesn't really happen, not like that. What I saw next had me questioning if I'd been accidentally eating moldy bread all week. I hadn't. I checked my bread box and the expiration date. When I paused the frame this time, the tail number was blurred. Not gone, just soft, as if the pixels had degraded only in that spot, like somebody dragged a blur tool with a steady hand, but only over the tail number, not erased, subtly distorted, like reality itself was smudged. A cold dread settled in my gut. It was clear enough last night. I double-checked the file I saved. It's changed. Somehow it's changed. I'm going to try recovering the original from my backup drive. If something happens to this blog, or if I stop posting, just remember, I am not suicidal. I didn't imagine it. The footage was real. The plane was real. I had written the number when I first saw it, thinking this is what Graham wanted me to see, and I hadn't realized what it was immediately until I looked it up, and I knew for sure. N370YH. If you know anything, if you've seen anything, please reach out. I don't care if it's a hoax, a prank, or a whisper in a Reddit thread from 2016. I need to know I'm not the only one seeing this, because somehow that plane was there. What the hell does this mean? Chapter 3. Graham's Voice. Posted 3:56 p.m. by Handle. I wasn't going to post again today. I thought I needed sleep. What I found made that impossible. After this morning's dive into FAA records and seeing my own files change, I was ready to walk away from this whole rabbit hole for a few hours. Maybe cook, maybe shower, pretend I'm not in the middle of losing my grip. But then I found it. It's like it was there, ready for anyone to go looking. I was checking old threads, trying to find any trace of Graham. An old handle, archived blog post, anything. When I hit a dead link, an old WordPress site of his, edgeproof.wordpress.com. It had been dormant for years. I thought he deleted it. But today, it was back. One post, just one. No title, just the default, untitled. Timestamped today, 12:41 p.m. Hello everyone. I wanted to sincerely apologize for the confusion caused by my earlier videos and statements. Upon reflection and review, it's clear I made several mistakes in judgment. There is no anomaly in the footage. The balloon launch went as expected. Any irregularities are due to compression artifacts and user error. Thank you to those who reached out with concern. I am stepping away from online spaces to refocus on my personal life and mental health. Stay grounded, GB. That's not Graham. It looks like him at first, but the words are too polished, too empty. My chest tightened. Graham was a rambling mess, chaotic and earnest, who went on weird digressions about fluoride and space lasers. This wasn't just wrong, it felt dangerous, like someone was using his voice as a mask. The last line chilled me. Stay grounded. That's what hit me, because that's the phrase I said to him once, years ago, during a live stream debate. I ended the session with it. Good luck with the balloon launch, Graham. Stay grounded. It was a stupid little dig. A joke. He cringed when I said it. But now, here it is, fed back to me. The post has no comments. I tried to leave one, clicked submit, the page flickered. My comment erased instantly. No moderation, no warning, just gone. It felt intentional. Like someone was silently correcting a mistake. I refreshed the page. My words weren't there. I had saved a screenshot because it was long. So maybe 5 minutes pass while I'm on the phone with my landlord. Then I go looking for it. I check my screenshot. The text is gone. No timestamp, no post title, just a generic WordPress shell. The rest of the image is intact. Even the file name is the same. But it's empty. The profile that posted the original message is still listed as Graham Bellamy, but when I viewed the HTML source of that page, I found a user ID buried in the metadata. Author, guest override. Modified 12:41 p.m. IP, masked. So either Graham made this post from a secure proxy, deleted all of his voice, and quoted a throwaway insult I made years ago, or someone else had stepped in using his account like a puppet. I think Graham's gone. I think something took over his accounts. Whatever it is, it didn't just find Graham. It found me. And it changed what I saw. Chapter 4. The Plumbers. Posted 6:12 p.m. by Handle. This one's going to sound ridiculous. I know how this reads. Former conspiracy debunkers start seeing ghosts in the pipes. Believe me, I'm aware of the irony. But I need to get this down before I start rationalizing it away. So, I've had a leak under my kitchen sink for about 2 weeks now. Nothing dramatic, just a slow drip from a cold water line. Buckets, towels, very exciting domestic stuff. Finally called the landlord this morning. He said he'd arranged for a plumber to come by today between 2 and 4 p.m. At 2:47, someone knocked. 3 sharp taps. Not rushed or impatient, just exact. I looked through the peephole. There was a man in a dark suit. Not a work jumpsuit, no tool bag, just a clipboard and a smile like he rehearsed it in the mirror for 30 years. Black toupee, pale skin, black tie, the whole 9 yards. I didn't open the door. He spoke to me through it before I could. We're here about the leak. Not, I'm from XYZ Plumbing. Not, your landlord sent us up. I stared at him through the peephole, then asked, Sorry, which company are you with? He stared blankly at the door and turned his head slightly, like he was considering my question. Just here to take a look. Something wrong? There was something wrong, all right. Something rehearsed about the way he talked. Not evasive, just offbeat. Like a real person doing a decent impression of acting normal. Decent, but imperfect. I told him I'd reschedule. Said I wasn't feeling well. He smiled, the same exact smile, and said, Of course, another time then. He turned and walked away without another word. Didn't ask for a good time to put down on his clipboard. Didn't ask me to call and reschedule. He just left. The hair on my neck was prickled to the point it actually itched. Talking to the guy gave me the creeps. Then I realized it. He never blinked. Not once. Not the whole time I was looking at him. After he left, I swear I could smell something that hadn't been there before. Something chemical. It didn't stink, exactly. It was just sort of faint, like diluted turpentine, lingering in the air. Here's where it gets more weird. At 4:12 p.m., a plumber called my cell, apologized for missing the window he discussed with my landlord, said he was running late, could come by tomorrow. Different voice, friendly, human. I asked if he'd already sent someone. He said, No, you were my last stop. I never double book. I didn't say anything, just thanked him and hung up. Out of curiosity, I checked my building's security cam footage online. There's a gap. From 2:43 to 2:49, the video feed cuts to gray. Every other minute of the day is there, crystal clear, except those 6. Not scrambled, not frozen, blank. Like someone cut them out neatly with scissors. Just those 6 minutes. Gone. I've had headaches all afternoon, like pressure behind my right eye. It's probably nothing, but I keep thinking about that knock and the smile and how he said, "we," like there was someone waiting in the hallway behind him. Chapter 5. Talking Balloon. Posted 11:48 p.m. by Handle. I wasn't the only one. That's what's been eating at me tonight. Not the fear, not the paranoia, the pattern. I'm not special, but I might be in the queue. After my last post, I went back to the weather balloon forums. Most threads were quiet, abandoned, or locked. But I found one that hadn't fully been scrubbed yet. A side community of high-altitude hobbyists who catalog strange anomalies, lens flares, meteors, odd contrails, that kind of thing. Turns out they've been noticing things for months. Report number 1. Japan. User Zero Pressure JP. Posted a still frame from a recent launch. At 78,000 feet, a blurry object streaks behind cloud cover, then emerges clear for just 3 frames. It's a World War II era Mitsubishi G4M bomber, a model decommissioned in 1945. No modern equivalent. He overlays the tail markings. They're accurate. Too accurate. I launched solo this time. My daughter usually helps me with calibration, but she was sick that morning. She didn't believe what I saw when I showed her. Could be a replica, he writes. But it had no shadow, no noise, it was just there. Account deleted an hour later. His post now reads, "This content has been removed for violating community guidelines." I thought maybe that was the worst of it. One rogue frame, a stressed out hobbyist, but the next report felt sharper, like something older was breaking through. Report number 2. Brazil. User altitude_max_BR. Captured a vintage plane flying above their rig. An Avro two-door 4 passenger aircraft. The image shows a British flag on the back. The model was grounded in the 40s after 2 planes, Star Ariel and Star Tiger, vanished over the Atlantic. No wreckage, no beacons, just gone. And yet there it is in crystal clear 1080p, slicing through the atmosphere. The original post links to a time-stamped clip. When I try to open it, error 404, file not found. Even the cached preview is now blank. Then came the one that made me chip a tooth on my coffee mug. The one that still hasn't been taken down. Report number 3. Russia. I can't read the username because I don't speak Russian, but I translated it. It means Sky Watcher. His video is still up. That alone makes it more eerie than the others. The title is simple. My balloon spoke to me. It's a shaky phone recording of a computer monitor playing back high-altitude footage. The sky is pale blue. The balloon climbs, hits a thermal drift, steadies. A vague, pale shape drifts into view slightly off screen. Then, at 57:14, the feed glitches. The screen tears. Static. A distorted voice, low, garbled, male, whispers in Russian, "You are not supposed to be watching." The audio isn't from the computer speaker. The microphone recording the room, the phone mic, catches it. The voice is coming from somewhere else. In the background, the uploader begins laughing, nervous, laughing like it's a joke. It's fake. It's funny. But his voice is shaking. Then the clip ends. That video? Still public. And it's the only one they didn't take down. The most bizarre, on-the-nose, troll-like entry of them all, and it's the only one they didn't take down. Almost like they want it there. I thought it was a hoax at first. I still kind of hope it is. But that's getting harder to believe. And now I keep seeing the same phrase over and over. In email signatures, forum replies, cached comments from deleted accounts, even files on my own machine. Always the same two words. Always like it's a warning. Stay grounded. It's everywhere. Chapter 6. Gaps in the System. Posted 2:07 a.m. by Handle. It's been hard to sleep. Things keep happening when I'm not paying attention. The evidence won't stay still. It changes, rewrites, edits itself like it's trying to make me forget. But I remember. And now there are gaps. Not in my memory, but in the physical world. Measurable ones. Things I can point to and say, this should not be missing. Gap number 1. The door camera. I checked my building's entryway footage again tonight. I downloaded the full feed from that day with the plumber. The one with the suit at the door. Everything was there. My neighbor bringing in groceries at 2:40. A package delivered at 2:42. Gray screen. Then a teenager that lives above me walked downstairs at 2:49. No error messages. No corrupt files. Just a 6-minute window of nothing. Gap number 2. The voicemail. After reviewing the footage the first time, I got a notification. One new voicemail. I had overlooked it until I went to bed, or tried to. It was from a private number, time-stamped 2:51 p.m., just minutes after the man in black left. I hit play. Silence. But not blank silence. Not dead air. There's a low hum, then static. Not white noise. Static with texture. It's uneven, like a badly tuned radio slipping between stations. Faint tones. A click. Then something. Not a word, not a sentence, just one sound. Somebody breathing too close to the mic. Then the line cuts. I tried to forward it to my email. It sent, but what came across on the other side is corrupt. I tried to play it back. It did play back. I can still play it back. But the breathing isn't there. Gap number 3. The missing plumber. I caught my neighbor across the hall this evening. Older guy. Watches Wheel of Fortune reruns with the volume way too high. I asked if he saw the plumber that day. He said, "Oh sure, they came by." I asked what he meant by they. He paused, like the word surprised even him. Then he just shrugged. 2 of them, quiet types. Didn't knock, though. Just stood there for a bit. I figured you were going to let him in. My heart skipped. You're sure they didn't knock? Nope, just waited. Polite fellas. Barely moved. Gave me a nod on the way out. Mistook them for Jehovah's Witnesses for a second. So to recap, I heard a knock. My neighbor didn't. He saw 2 men and I saw 1. The camera saw nothing. The voicemail was static and breathing. It's still there, but the breathing is gone. There are too many explanations, I know. Audio errors, blind spots, faulty cameras. But they're piling up like fingerprints on a minivan's back glass. I don't think this is about Graham anymore. I think it's about whoever's still watching. And I think I'm next. Chapter 7. Bleed. Posted 5:42 a.m. by Handle. I've worked with computers most of my life. I know how files corrupt. I know what a software bug looks like. I know when something's my fault. This isn't. This is something else. It started with a folder. I was looking for footage again. The footage Graham tried to send me. I'd saved it on a backup folder in an old external drive labeled Backups 2022. I never touched it. Today, the folder was gone. Instead, there was a new one. Recovered Backups 9370YH. I didn't name that. Inside was a single image. A black screen with a date in white text. 08/09/2020. The date of the balloon launch. Faint shapes emerged. They weren't pixelated, just soft, too soft, like someone took a real photo and sanded it down until the edges bled. One of them, off-center, is wearing what looks like a tie. Or a noose. That made me shaken. I decided to just do something, anything else. I opened a completely unrelated video, a YouTube essay on synthesizers. About 6 minutes in, the screen glitches for half a second. I paused and rewound, frame by frame. There it was. Not like it had been inserted, more like it had always been there, hiding under the pixels, waiting to be seen. One frame, a still from the balloon footage, the same horizon, same plane, same tail number. I tried to screenshot it. The image saves blank. I tried screen recording. The app crashed. I tried playing it on my phone. The frame's not there anymore. And now, it's not just in the footage. It's everywhere. Autofill fields in my browser keep suggesting N370YH. I typed Netflix into the URL bar. It suggested N370YH.netflix.com. I didn't click it. Files on my desktop renamed themselves for a second, then changed back. One.jpg briefly read bflystill.jpg. I checked my audio files. One had its metadata altered. New comment tag. Stop posting. My notes app had a new draft titled, Soon You Will See. I didn't write that. I never even opened that app today. There's no malware. I ran 4 separate scans. Clean. There's no sign of intrusion. My IP history is stable. But something is in the system. Not a virus. A presence. It doesn't delete or create anything. Not anything new. It just alters my files. It's not trying to hide, not from me, like it wants to be found, but only for a moment, only long enough to be seen and remembered. I keep thinking about what Graham said. I didn't see it then, but I think it saw me. That line keeps repeating in my head, but now I'm not sure the it he meant was the plane. I think he was talking about something else that saw him. Chapter 8. The Voice. Posted 11:11 a.m. by Handle. I didn't play the video last night. I didn't even touch the hard drive. I microwaved some leftover pizza at 10:02 p.m. I carried it with me to bed. I was laying there with my laptop closed, watching an old movie on my phone, just trying to feel normal for a little while. Then the screen flickered, and the balloon footage started playing by itself. At first, I thought it was in my head, that somehow I was dreaming it. But it wasn't a dream. The movie on my phone closed and wouldn't respond to anything I did. The screen glowed in the dark. No input, no command. Just the GoPro footage again, right where it always begins to go wrong, just before 5207. I had never even played it on my phone. I held the power buttons and the screen froze. It wouldn't shut off. Then it started playing the video in reverse, slowly, frame by frame, like something was rewinding the moment, looking for something I hadn't seen. It stopped at 51:22, then skipped ahead, like something searching, and then the camera moved. If you've never used a weather balloon rig, here's the thing. The cameras don't move. They're mounted, passive, stabilized by weight and air resistance. They sway, but they don't pivot. But this one tilted, just once, down, toward the bottom of the balloon. I felt vertigo. And for one frame, I saw a reflection in the curved lens of the GoPro. Not the ground, not the sky, not the plane. A face, human-shaped, pale, too close, smiling. Not wide, not cartoonish. It had no pupils, just smooth glass-like eyes, all black. Then the phone just died, like the battery went bad. I thought I would panic, should panic, scream, run out to my car, never come back. I didn't scream, didn't run, just sat there, like the fear hadn't reached my limbs yet. Instead, I just stared at the black screen where the eyes had been, like something else was going to happen. But it never did. I could hear my heart beating. When I finally looked around, everything was so normal, nothing out of place. I was still holding the pizza crust in my left hand, everything where I'd left it. How could it all be just normal after that? Something was wrong, though. The sound from the streets was too quiet. Not like a predator was nearby in a forest, like it was late at night. My phone was on the floor. I think I came to my senses whenever I dropped it. I picked it up. The screen was shattered. Then I saw the clock. Not on my phone, it was dead. On the wall. It was 3:05 a.m. I had been sitting there, staring at a black screen for over 4 hours. And then... three knocks on the front door. 3 perfectly spaced knuckle knocks, just like the last time. I didn't answer. I turned off the lights, sat in the dark holding my breath. Then, 3 more. Same exact rhythm. Then silence. I waited an hour before getting up. I opened my laptop. There was nothing on the hallway camera feed again, just a brief flicker, then gray. I have the camera on right now, but nothing is on the feed. But they are still knocking. I can't trust my laptop. Everything is watching back. Chapter 9. An open door. Posted 7:32 a.m. by handle. They kept knocking. I stopped waiting for it to end. I know it won't. I thought if the sun came up, they would leave. They didn't. This may be my last post. I think I have to open the door. I don't think running will help anything, but I can't stay here. There's only one way in or out of this apartment, if I don't want to jump 4 stories onto asphalt. Let me be clear. The plane was real. The footage was real. You would have seen the same things I did if the files didn't change, if the screenshots didn't blur. That plane is supposed to be gone, vanished over the ocean. But it showed up for exactly 1 frame in a video taken from the Nevada desert 3 years ago. Graham tried to show me that he wasn't crazy. His final post wasn't from him. I can feel it in the rhythm of the words, the absence of his voice, the reuse of a thing I said to him years ago. Stay grounded. It's not advice. Stay grounded. Don't ascend. Don't see. But I saw it, and once you see it, it sees you. There's a knock again. 3 taps. Exactly spaced. Maybe it's the plumber from before. Maybe it's not. I have to leave eventually. I see the man with the clipboard through the keyhole. After I looked, he stopped knocking. He hasn't knocked again. He's just standing there, still smiling, like he already knows I've made my choice. He told me not to be afraid, that they just want to talk. I can hear my neighbor playing Wheel of Fortune through the wall. It played all night. I haven't seen anyone else on the camera feed, not even the man with the clipboard, but the hallway's there now. I don't know what else to do. I always thought I'd go down fighting, but I'm tired, and they're waiting. It's funny. I used to call people like Graham delusional. Now I'm the one talking to ghosts. If you're reading this, Graham, I'm sorry I was a dick back then. I'm opening the door. Chapter 10. Correction. Posted 7:38 a.m. by handle. Hello everyone. I wanted to sincerely apologize for the confusion caused by my recent posts. After reviewing the footage and revisiting my notes, I've come to the conclusion that what I experienced was the result of personal stress, poor sleep, and a series of unrelated technical glitches. There is no anomaly in the video footage. There is no aircraft. There is no cause for concern. The image that circulated with the tail number was misinterpreted. It does not correspond to any current or past flight of interest, and I regret any alarm I may have caused by sharing it out of context. I've removed previous entries to prevent the spread of misinformation. Everything is fine now. Thank you to those who have reached out. I appreciate the kindness and support. I'll be stepping away from online spaces for the foreseeable future to focus on rest and mental clarity. Stay grounded. Handle. One comment. Anonymous. We're glad you understand now.